Hello again everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where we're going to be doing a bit of a potato reveal, the first potato reveal of the season. Now yes, I have harvested some kestrel potatoes already. We've been eating those now for like the past couple of months, but these are the main crop potatoes. I'm not going to be harvesting all of them. I've got like 30 or so buckets of them. I don't want to have to store all them potatoes yet. I'd rather just harvest them as I need them. So it's just 8 buckets I'm going to be harvesting today. We've got 4 buckets of main crop. What's the variety now? We've got 4 buckets of main crop Maris Piper here, and we've got 4 buckets of Cara as well. 2 lovely main crop potatoes. We're going to see what we've got. We planted these right at the end of March in buckets. I planted 2 per bucket. I used a peat-based compost. I used some Vitax potato fertilizer, some bloodfish and bone, and there's also a little bit of well-rotted horse manure just on the very bottom of the containers as well. I used strulch as mulch just for the tops of the buckets because they can dry out very quickly in the summer heat. But to be honest, I haven't had much trouble with these. It's been minimal effort. I planted them in March, watered them when they dried out, and that is it. I just left them to it. So I would say this is minimal effort, and the reason why I grow potatoes in buckets rather than in the ground is because I end up with much cleaner potatoes and better results. So hopefully this video demonstrates that. We're going to weigh both the Maris Piper and the Cara potatoes. I know how much you guys enjoy potato reveals, so I thought I'd do one today. I hope you enjoy. Let's have a look what we've got. Okay, so I've cut the foliage right back to make for a cleaner harvest, and an indicator that your potatoes are nearing maturity and ready to harvest is the foliage will start to go yellow and the plants will just start to die back. What I do then is I cut them down to the ground. I might leave them for a bit just to let the skins harden a bit. I've not done that here. I'm just harvesting them straight away because they have been sat over there and they have dried out. The soil is very dry now. Anyway, let's have a look what we've got. This is the Maris Piper. Lots of bugs in there. Okay. Medium-sized potatoes. Yeah, they're not too bad. They're peelable. It's alright, oh, it's not too bad. As long as I can peel them, I'm happy with that. Now, we haven't had any blight, which I'm surprised about. We usually have a problem with blight, but it has been a much drier summer. Last year was absolutely horrendous. It was a very wet summer and quite cool as well. That soil is very, very dry. Okay, that's 1 bucket. Yeah, it's not too bad, I suppose. I would like to have gotten more though. Alright, next one. Oh, this one's better. There's a red ant nest in there. Look at that. Blimey. That's the problem here. We've got red ants. But the potatoes are pretty nice. There is a little bit of scab on them, just a little bit, but we're going to be peeling these anyway, so that's no bother, and we'll be using these relatively soon anyway. They are lovely, those actually. Those are really nice. Maris Piper are delicious. They're well known for their eating qualities. A very popular variety. Just not blight resistant, but thankfully we've not had the blight. I'm quite happy with these. These are actually quite good. There are a few small ones, as there always is, but that is no problem. And with this compost as well, I don't waste it. I'll be using it again. I'll either use it to plant my potatoes again next year, or I will top my raised beds up with it. So it's not going to be wasted. So 4 seed potatoes, 2 buckets, has gotten that. So that is not too bad. If you take away the 4 seed potatoes that we planted, that is our yield from 2 containers. So not too bad at all so far. Reasonable size. We've got 2 more buckets to do. In fact, we've got about 10 more Maris pipers to harvest, but I'm not going to be doing those yet. I'm going to leave those. Ooh, right, okay, we've got some slug damage here. That's, yeah, we have some holes in one of those. I think that's slugs though, not wireworm. It's irritating, but no matter. Doesn't seem to be on many of them though. Yeah, most of them look okay to me. It has been quite a moist area that these have been sat in, so I think maybe that might be a reason why there is some damage on these, because they've been sat on top of wood chip, which has been very moist, and the slugs would like that very much, so that's probably why we do have some damage. I'm sure we can just cut the damaged bits off anyway and it'll be okay, I think. That one does have a little bit of damage, but not too bad at all really. That's the worst one, I think. There's a few others, but it's nothing major. Okay. The last one of the main crop Maris pipers. Let's have a look. Lovely stuff. Yeah, there's some really nice potatoes there. And I also picked the flowers off these as well when they appeared. There was loads and loads of flowers coming off these potato plants, and I picked all of them off to direct the energy into growing the tubers. Now, commercial growers, you know, farmers that are growing these in massive fields aren't going to do that, because, you know, they don't have the time to be doing that, and for the time it would take them to do that, they're not going to see much difference. But for us small growers, I think it does make all the difference really. So that is 4 buckets of Maris pipers all harvested. So now we're going to do the Cara potatoes. These are quite a nice potato. They're a good looking potato. They have nice purple eyes, or red eyes, and they are delicious as well. I grew these last year. In fact, these are from our saved seed potatoes from last year. So these have cost me nothing. I saved my own seed potatoes last year and planted them this year. So this is all from safe seed. It'll be interesting to see what yield we've got. Nice. Some pretty nice, pretty beefy potatoes there. Those are quite a decent size. As I said, as long as I can peel them, I'm happy. and then the smaller ones I'll either save them for seed potatoes for next year, or I will just eat them as new potatoes. Okay, that's one bucket. They're a decent size, and the potatoes themselves look pretty clean. I think there's a little bit of scab on them, but that's not a huge deal. I can feel something biting my leg. Oh, it'll be a red ant stinging me, that will. Yep. I'm getting red ants crawling all over me. We've got a chronic problem with red ants. Okay, second bucket of Cara. There's a couple of green ones that were near the surface, but we did mulch with a strulch. We did mulch them with strulch. So it did cover most of them, but not all of them. Some of them were exposed. In fact, I think the reason why we do have a couple of green potatoes is because the rats were digging in some of the buckets. They didn't seem to take many potatoes, but they were digging holes, and I think they uncovered some potatoes, and that is why they've gone green. The little honestly, the bloody rats are a real pain. I've noticed some of these have split. I've never actually seen that before. Any suggestions as to what that could be? Do let me know in the comments, because I've never seen. Could be a watering issue, maybe too much water and they've split. I don't know. One thing is for sure, they are pretty decent size. Really pleased with these actually. Considering it's only the end of July, it's quite early really to be harvesting main crops, but they started to yellow and die back. So I thought, right, I'll harvest a few buckets and see what we've got. But I'm probably going to leave the rest of them for another month or so and then harvest them and then store them, I think. If you're enjoying this video, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, so you never miss whenever I upload videos in the future, whether it be my how-to videos or my vlog videos or my harvesting videos. I do all sorts of different videos on the channel. If you'd like to see more of them, hit the subscribe button. And also leaving a comment helps with the engagement as well, and sends positive signals to YouTube so they can recommend my content to more like-minded gardeners as well. So liking and commenting really goes a long way, guys. I really appreciate the support, and I appreciate you watching my videos as well. It really means a lot. Okay, this is a couple of green ones on the top there, but not too bad. Wow, there's a lot of roots in there. Look at that, the root system is just... these ones are... I don't know about that. They look a bit funky, those do. They've split like the other ones, but they look really gnarly, them ones do. Okay, last bucket, and then we're going to weigh them and see what we've got. I think it's a close, they are very close to each other, to be honest. They've yielded about the same by the looks of it, but I would say the Maris Piper have given nicer potatoes. The Cara are looking a little bit gnarly, like there's a scab on them and they've sort of started to split. Okay, let's have a look. Last Cara potato. Okay, these ones actually look much cleaner. They don't look as gnarly as the other ones. Yeah, them ones are definitely cleaner. Blimey. I think tonight we're going to have bangers and mash. That is the plan. Love me mashed potato. I made a nice leek and potato soup yesterday. It was lovely. I didn't take any pictures of it though, unfortunately. I forgot to take pictures, but it was really nice. We harvested a load of leeks earlier this week because a lot of them had bolted, but they still made a nice soup. If you harvest them when they're just starting to bolt, you can get away with it, but if you leave them and they've bolted, they can go quite woody. But I caught them just in time, thankfully. Okay, so there we go. That is from 8 buckets, 4 Maris Piper and 4 Cara. Now it's the time to... Red ants biting me. Wow. Now it's time to weigh them and see what we've got. I reckon the Cara way more than the Maris Piper. There's definitely more of those, but the Maris Piper seem to be better quality potatoes. I'd rather have fewer potatoes that are a better quality though. Quality over quantity. That is the most important thing. Okay, so I've got me, so it's actually luggage scales I'm using here to weigh them. Okay, so that's 6.16 kilos. Obviously taking off the weight of the bucket. What does the bucket weigh? The bucket weighs 240 grams. So just under 6 kilos from the Maris Piper. 4 buckets of them. Let's have a look at the Cara. Okay, 8.37 kilos. So just over 8 kilos from the Cara. So yeah, a good, 2 kilos or so more from the Cara than the Maris Piper, which is interesting. Although the Maris Piper, as I said, are definitely better quality. I mean, they're much cleaner. The Cara, there are a few nice ones, but some of them they've split, or they look a little bit gnarly. They've got a bit of scab on them. I mean, the Maris Pipers, they do have some with holes in. Not all of them though, but there is several of them that have some holes in. So I mean, I would say that's a good result really from a main crop potato harvest, end of July. I'm pretty pleased with that. We've got like 25 more buckets to harvest yet. So, I'm going to leave them for another few weeks and then harvest them, and I'll be storing them. But these, we're probably going to eat them as we need them over the coming weeks. So to conclude, I planted 2 main crop potatoes in each bucket. I used a peat-based compost called Growmoor, and I also used a bit of well-rotted horse manure on the bottom. I used some bloodfish and bone, Vitax potato fertilizer, and I also mulched the top with Strulch as well. And I did nothing else. I planted them right at the end of March, and then I just left them really. I just watered them when they needed it, and we harvested them now 4 months later. Good result. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little reveal. It's not a massive reveal. I wasn't doing the whole 30 buckets because honestly I can't be bothered processing all them potatoes yet, and I've not got the room to store them yet either. So it's just a little one today, but I hope you enjoyed. If you did, remember to hit the like button, comment as well. It helps the algorithm. It really means a lot. I appreciate all the support and all the help from you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Happy gardening and stay safe.